basically, it's the Hulland family. My mother's family goes back, as far as we can find out, certainly to the 17th century. And we can trace it through the churchyard to 1700s and 1800s. And they farmed at Huxford. And the Sanders family really are from Dartmoor. But it so happened that a Sanders was farming at Coombe. This next one past Spittal, who was a great uncle of mine. We didn't know that at the time. And my Uncle Jan used to farm there with Jack and Edward, were his two boys. They never married. And so my father, unbeknownst to my mother, as a boy would stay at Coombe. And they may well have met, although there was a 5-year difference in their ages. Mother was older. And my mother and my father only met in 1942, 43, when she was nursing at the RD&E and he was in the Royal Navy on leave. But the Hulland family came all the way through. My grandfather left Huxford in about 1930, and he bought Glebe House before that. And Glebe House came to us, and this one claim to fame, I suppose, apart from the Sanders family living there, or the Hullands, was that R.D. Blackmore lived there, whilst his father was a curate. As you know, in those days, in the big rectory, the rector would live and have his being, and the poor old curate would take the services. And they lived in Glebe House all the way through until after my grandfather died. My grandmother and my mother and that had to make their own way. They were both nurses, and I was born at Exeter in their maternity home. And they then bought a place in Exmouth in 52, and we stayed there till 60. And then we all came back to live in Glebe House in 1960. But we'd always come back here for holidays and high days and what have you. And we sort of considered it our second home.
So did you ever live at Huxford yourself?
No, never lived at Huxford. That was all done and dusted. I think my grandfather had the good sense to sell it to Samuel Bowden. And bearing in mind it's about 250 acres of good Devon soil, I think he sold it for £2,700. And thank you very much, grandfather, for that. I'm most indebted. And my other grandfather was a farmer in Holne, and the farm he had is now the Dartmoor Adventure Centre, and he got rid of that for hardly anything at all.
Well, that's what they did in those
We are the nouveau pauvre, the Sanders family, and for anybody in Kingston to listen, that means the new poor. Just throw that in.
So it's the Hullands that really go back here.
The Hullands really go back here, and it's interesting. My son's called Samuel Hulland Sanders. And one of the first gravestones you can see as you walk in is Samuel Hulland. He always says you can see. So we go back a few years. We missed out on Huxford, missed out on everything. But finally have come back now. Come back to our own little shalom.